Hey guys, in this video I'm going to be going over all the basics of making a rib stitch. The rib stitch is pretty easy. I'll be going over all the different sizes of ribbing that you can do, whether it's a 1x1 or a 2x2 or even larger than that, and also how to use them in different patterns and projects. Here is the rib stitch. More specifically, this right now is a 1x1 rib stitch. The rib stitch is made up of a pattern of knitting, purling, knitting, purling, knitting, purling, knitting, purling, and then on the flip side, you're going to be knitting the knits and purling the purl stitches. A 1x1 rib is this. It's just one row of knitting, or one column of knitting, one column of purling, one column of knitting, one column of purling. And what happens is the purls and the knits combined, they kind of pull everything together and make this nice little thick fabric. This is what you find a lot on like the wrist of a mitten or the brim of a hat or a sock, because it's that nice stretchy fabric that pulls everything together. So I'm just going to show you real quick how to keep building up this 1x1 rib pattern, and then I'll switch to a larger pattern. So I'm gonna knit the knits and purl the purls. That's really the easiest rule that you can follow. So this next stitch is a purl, so I'm gonna purl that. Then we have a knit, and then a purl, then a knit, and a purl. And I have about 15 or so stitches of these, just alternating between the purl and the knit stitch. So now I just finished that row. On the flip side, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl, knit, purl for the whole row. So I'm going to knit and then purl, knit, and purl for the entire row. Another one of the great uses of the 1x1 ribbing fabric is you can make reversible cables with this. I recently did a tutorial on how to do reversible cables with a 1x1 ribbing pattern, so check that out if you're interested. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to switch this and do a 2x2 cable to see, just to show you what that looks like. To do a 2x2 cable, you do basically the same thing that you're doing with the 1x1, but increasing it by one stitch. So instead of doing one stitch, one purl, one stitch, one purl, you're going to be doing 2 stitches, 2 purls, 2 stitches, 2 purls, 2 stitches, 2 purls, and it's just going to make a thicker, or not a thicker, but a wider, you're going to have wider ridges for this fabric. So to start out, I'm going to knit. So knit 2 stitches now, and then purl 2 stitches, and then go back to knitting 2 and purl 2, and I'm going to do that for the rest of my row here, and I'll show you what the back side looks like. On the flip side, you can't see much of a change yet, so I'm going to keep building that up. You're going to be doing the same rule, knit the knits, purl the purls, but there's going to be 2 sets to do, so I'm going to purl 2 stitches here and then knit 2. Now I just finished that second row here, and you can just barely start to see a change in the pattern, but not quite. So I'm going to build that up a couple more rows and show you what it looks like. But basically all you're going to be doing to do a 2x2 rib is do 2 knits, 2 purls, 2 knits, 2 purls, 2 knits, 2 purls, and then on the flip side you're going to be doing the same thing, but knitting the knits and purling the purls. So here's my swatch after building it up after a couple more rows, and now you can really see the thickness, how it changes, and pretty significantly. So here on the bottom I have the 1x1 rib, here on top I have the 2x2 rib, and just increasing that by just 1 does a lot of difference here. Now you can see just 3 really prominent ribs on this side, and the fabric is also a lot stretchier and looser. On the flip side, it looks the same, except on this case we have 4 ribs Same width, doing the same thing here. If you were to increase this to a 3x3 rib, it would be same thing, but just even bigger rib sections and stretchier fabric. So that is how to do ribbing. Hopefully this was helpful to you, and good luck with any projects that you use it on.